Hey guys, Miss Not So Cool here, and today is kind of a weird video to do right now because I'm doing face cam, which is something I never do. And don't worry, this is probably going to be the only video I do of it unless popular demand, but really, I don't really do face cam much. It's not something I'm really comfortable with, putting myself out there or something. But I don't know, I just felt like this would be a special video to make. It's more of a personal video for me. But as of hopefully uploading this, it would be June 16th, which to you is just another day, but to me is an important day for me because that was the day I went to my first concert, which was last year. June 16th, 2016 was the day I went on my first concert trip. So, I don't know, I just wanted to do like kind of a story type thing where I tell you about how I went to my first concert. Which is weird because I'm not really good at telling stories, but I don't know, it's something very important to me, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about it and how it led up to me going to that first concert, and yeah. So full disclosure, this is probably gonna be me fangirling a lot over a certain band that I like. Spoilers, it's Panic at the Disco, in case you didn't know that. But yeah, if you're a fan as well, sure, let me know in the comments. Stick throughout the entire story and tell me your experience as well. If you're not, well, I have plenty of other videos you can watch where I don't do this type of stuff. It's really the first time I've done this. And if you hate Panic at the Disco, well, I mean, the doors to your left or right, wherever you are. You're free to exit out of this video and watch all my other stuff that I've done on my channel, or watch something else. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not keeping you hostage or forcing you to listen to them yet. But anyway, yeah, full disclaimer out of the way. There's going to be a fully Panic at the Disco oriented or centered video. So, here we go. I can remember it vividly as if it was yesterday. It was February 5th or 6th. I'm not entirely sure. But it was the day Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were having a Democratic debate. I know that feels like it was years ago, but trust me, it was last year. In February, they were doing a CNN debate, and my mom and I were political junkies. We still kind of are. So we were watching the whole debate. I believe it started around 8 or something. It ended around 10. So it was a decent hour or two. And we watched it. After it finished, I got bored, and I decided to go in our dining area. And I have this weird thing where I like walk around our dining area while listening to music. I still do that. I don't know why. Even when I like daydream, I just walk around our dining room and do stuff like that. I don't know, it's something I do. But anyway, I decided to do my laps, if you want to call it my laps. And while I was doing that, I was listening. I had my headphones on. I had my iPad. This iPad. And I was listening to songs on it. I was listening to Jesse's Girl by, who was it by again? I can't remember off the top of my head, but Jesse's Girl, song that came out in 1982, I believe, by an Australian singer. It's like, I wish that I had Jesse's Girl, da 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 da. Like, I'm sure you can Google it afterwards. But yeah, it's a very, I don't know, it's a very 80s song, early 80s or something, and I don't know, I was very obsessed with it at the time. And then after a while, I just kind of got bored, and I wanted to listen to something that was kind of similar to that sound, but I wasn't entirely sure what was similar to it. So I was like, okay, let me listen to Coldplay's The Scientist. I heard that's a good song. I don't remember how it went, but I'm sure it was okay. I think it was decent. And then from there, I started listening to other stuff through there, and then I ended up listening to the phrase, How to Save a Life for the first time, which was very depressing, but I liked it a lot. And then, just out of the blue, I was like, you know what? I wonder what do gay people listen to? I don't know why. I just had this thought where I'm like, I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm bored. I want to see what other songs I'm missing out on. Because I pretty much listened to all the songs, the popular songs that came out that year, more or less. And I don't know. I was just very bored that night, and I was curious. I wanted to experiment and just look out what other songs were out there, or songs that I missed that were from a few years ago. So I decided to search gay songs, and there was just a bunch of lists here and there, And this is not something I've searched before. This is not the first time I've searched this. I've searched it before, I believe maybe a couple months after February 2016. I probably did search it before, and I came up with the same result, but this time I decided to research it again, just to see. And I don't know, I had this thing where I just wanted to see a song about two guys, like two-guy relationship, but I had a hard time finding one, and most of the songs that I found that YouTube provided me were like covers. I didn't listen to them. I'm sure they're fine, but I don't know, they were just like covers of songs that are already sort of straight, or like about straight couples, and then they just change a few things to make it about a gay couple. I don't know, I kind of found that a bit sad. I'm like, oh, I think they should have their own stuff too. Like, there should be artists that are mainstream that should be make songs for them the same way we have songs made for like all of us, for people, for anyway. I just had like a little pet peeve about that, just a little. I found that kind of annoying. I don't know if they do, but I kind of found that a bit annoying. I thought that was like, oh, that's quite unfortunate. Something should be done about that. There should be more investment in there. As with everything else, there should be more. But anyway, I don't know, I'm just curious because Jesse's Girl is about this relationship that this guy has on a girl who happens to be dating his best friend, which is, typical of a song. But for some reason, when I first heard it, I don't know why, but I had this impression, like, what if he wants to be Jesse's girl? Like, what if he wants to be with Jesse, but he's not sure how to, like, describe that to him? Like, it's not like he's gay or anything, or maybe he could possibly be trans, or I don't know. I had this feeling, and I thought, this is progressive for an 80s song. And then, of course, I looked at the lyrics and I realized, oh, my ears were just messed up that day when I thought that. Like, that has nothing to do with it at all. It's just your typical bullcrap, three-way, triangle, whatever thing. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And I wanted to find a song that had that mentality in mind, but still had like a triangle type relationship. So I was looking, and I remember finding this list. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube now, but it was like, I believe it had like 200 songs, because each playlist, there's always like a few songs, like 100 or stuff. This one had exactly 200. I looked through the list, just skimming through them, and then I found this one song that was like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, I don't know about this. By this point, I was upstairs in my bedroom. I wasn't circling around anymore. I went upstairs. I was listening to this song, and I believe it was about like a domestic relationship between two guys, and they were going through something. And then while that was like playing in the background, it was like white noise. And while that was going on, I was still skimming through the list. And then the very last song I found on the list was the 200th one, obviously. And then as soon as I found it, the song had like turned off. It was about to end. So I looked at the comments, and they're like, oh, it's like physical like abuse or domestic relationship or something. I don't know, I like reading comments on videos sometimes. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're just, depends on the video. But music videos, they're usually funny. So I looked at theirs. It was not much, maybe like 5 or 4 or 3 comments. And then there was this song, the last song on this list, called Girls, Girls, Boys by Panic! At the Disco. Now, before I clicked on this, I looked at it. I looked at the title, Girls, Girls, Boys, and I immediately went, ugh. Is it what I think it is about this triangle with... I don't know. I had this weird thing where I just wanted to see guys in a gay relationship and not girls. I don't know why. In terms of music, I mean. Because I felt like it was pretty on the nose about girls being in a relationship, and it's mostly sexualized. And I wanted to see guys. I just want to see their version. But anyway, I was like, fine, I'll bite. I'm bored. I'll bite. And then before I clicked, I looked again, and I looked at his face, because it's just the guy's face of this band that was there. And it's not like I recognized him, but there was something about him that seemed familiar, like, I've seen something like this before. Then I looked at the name of the band, Panic! At the Disco. And that's when it clicked. Holy crap, I know this! I know this guy. I don't know this guy, I don't know the song, but I've seen this guy before. I Write Sins Not Tragedies. And let me go even further back about that. Because I know that this is going to be even bigger than that, because back in 2014, I used to listen to My Chemical Romance. And let me go even further than that in saying that even before My Chemical Romance, I was listening to this band called Breaking Benjamin, which is like this alternative, post-grunge, post-rock, hard. Basically, it's like a rock band, similar to, say, 3 Days Grace and things like that. It's like alternative rock. I used to be obsessed with Breaking Benjamin, and it took me a while to really get into them. I was mostly obsessed with Diary of a Jane, and then from there I started getting into all their other stuff. It took me a few months. And then the same thing happened to My Chemical Romance. I listened to Teenagers. That was the first song I heard from them, and it sounded weirdly familiar, even though I don't think I've ever heard it elsewhere. But yeah, I listened to Teenagers, and then I listened to all their like other stuff through like a lyric list. I didn't listen to like albums or anything, just songs just there through lyrics. And then I remember specifically, I don't know which lyric video was. I think it may have been the one for Dead, exclamation point, for My Chemical Romance, or maybe something different. But I remember there was a top comment that said, My Chemical Romance is the grungy, angsty, like, sad emo older brother, while Panic! At the Disco is a happier, younger emo brother of My Chemical Romance. Something like that. Like, they mentioned Panic! At the Disco. And then I looked through my recommendations, and I saw a song by Panic! At the Disco. It was called I Write Sins Not Tragedies. And it had the, I assumed, main singer of the group, who was like this in the thumbnail. And he was wearing gloves, he was wearing a hat, and I thought that he was just extremely pale. I didn't think he was wearing makeup or anything, except for maybe eyeliner. I thought he was just extremely pale. And for some reason I had this, like, already perceived idea of what the music video might be about. It wasn't exactly what I thought it'd be, but I had this idea like, okay, this is probably filmed at some guy's house or something, or they're writing, or maybe it has something to do with school. I have no idea. But I don't know, for some reason I just chose not to click it. Like, it's not like I was too good for Panic! At the Disco or anything. I mean, I was listening to My Chemical Romance, which was, I wouldn't say the same thing, but I mean, they kind of go hand in hand in terms of the so-called trinity that exists within the fandom. Emo trinity, so quote-unquote. But I don't know, for some reason I just chose not to. And then afterwards, years passed, and I just never thought about Panic! At the Disco. It wasn't always in the back of my mind. I would see it recommended a few times whenever I listened to My Chemical Romance or other songs within that genre, but I never really clicked I Write Sins Not Tragedy. For some reason, I just ignored it. I would just always block it out, which was weird. And then I believe around 2015, Breaking Benjamin was going on tour, but I couldn't go to that concert. Because throughout that entire year, I wanted to go to a concert, but there was no one I wanted to see. Taylor Swift was also going on a concert for her 1980-something tour thing, but I mean, I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, so even that wasn't going to work. And I think Bruno Mars had something too, but again, I wasn't a big Bruno Mars fan either. I like some of his stuff, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I didn't know all his stuff, and I didn't think I liked him enough to really pay money to see him. And as for Breaking Benjamin, I really liked it, but I couldn't see them live because first off, it was too late. I think it was Wednesday or something, within that week. And during that week, I got sick. And also on top of that, we had to go to the Burling Brothers circus. By the way, rest in peace, Burling Brothers. I believe they closed down their show this year. So yeah, quite sad. But yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of things going on that week, so I didn't have time to even go to a concert or even bring it up to my parents. So I just saw the live, well, not live, but someone recording the concert in Atlanta. It was at the Atlanta Tabernacle, and yeah, it was okay. I liked it fine. I wasn't that sad after seeing it, because I was like, okay, at least someone recorded it, so I mean, I got to see two versions of it, so I mean, that's fine, I guess. I don't feel that upset about it. But then, but yeah. And then around 2011, actually, even before I listened to My Chemical Romance or even knew about I Write Sins Not Tragedy, I heard Ready to Go, parentheses, Get Me Out of My Mind, in the Smurf movie that came out around that year. I believe I saw it either in 2011 or 2012. Somewhere between those 2 years. I saw the Smurf movie. I believe we saw it on DVD or somewhere online. Like a pirated version or something. But we saw it at one point. We saw it, and then the end credits played Ready to Go. And I believe afterwards I heard it being played in commercials. I think it was also in a Coca-Cola commercial or a Disney Channel commercial and things like that. So I heard the song. I liked the song at the time. I thought it was cute. I thought it was great. But I never had the urge to actually look up who did it for some reason. And by the time the song was done being played, I had completely forgotten. So again, I never got the chance to know who it was. So that was also another missed opportunity I had on my part. And then afterwards, side note about like 21 Pilots, apparently Josh Dunn used to date Debbie Ryan, who used to be on Sweet Life on Deck, which is a show I used to watch religiously as a kid, especially near the end. But yeah, that's also another connection I missed apparently. Fall Out Boy, I've heard about them, but I never gave them a chance. Again, another missed opportunity. I could have found out about Panic through them, because they're basically the reason why Panic got popular in the first place and became who they are. They kind of give them that additional boost. Thanks, Pete. But yeah, again, just another missed opportunity. I still watch a YouTuber who does music reviews, and he did talk about Fall Out Boy. He did mention them and things like that. And I believe at some point during his Halloween thing, where he was talking about Uma Thurman, he showed clips of I Write Sins Not Tragedies as well as clips of Helena from My Chemical Romance. I was able to identify My Chemical Romance in there, but for some reason I completely blocked out seeing I Write Sins Not Tragedy. I don't know. And I look back on it too, and I'm still like, how did I not notice that? Even in the Uma Thurman music video, the singer's in there, in like plain, clear sight, and for some reason, I just blocked that out of my memory. Granted, I only saw the video once after it uploaded, but you'd think I would have seen it. It's just like, what the hell was my excuse? I just wasn't aware. I just didn't know. But yeah, afterwards, so now, with all that said and done, coming back to February 2016, Girls, Girls, Boys. Knowing all that, I was just astounded. I was like, wait, I do know this guy. Alright, so let me listen to it. So I listened to it, and while it was going on, there was like this little commercial playing, and then I looked at the comment section, because that's always interesting. And then the first 3 seconds of the song played, and then after hearing it, they had me at hello. Let's just say they had me at hello as soon as I heard the first 3 seconds of Girls, Girls, Boys. It was just that bass line was so killer for me. It was just so killer. I don't know any other way to explain it. I just liked it. And then, yeah, the rest of the song went on, and I was looking through the comments. The comments are just... Even now, if you look at the comments of Girls, Girls, Boys, Panic at Disco right now, it is just insane. The fangirls and things like that, fanboys. The fandom is kind of insane in that regard. I'll admit that. And yeah, all of them were pretty much saying, oh, lower it. And I'm like, what are they talking about lowering? And then I look at the music video, because I wasn't really paying attention to the music video. I look up, and then I see this white, almost naked guy in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Okay. And then I kind of forgot I was watching YouTube for a second, so when the camera went lower, I'm like, But eventually, it eventually went back up, so I'm like, oh, right, YouTube, okay. Of course that was going to happen. I don't know why I thought otherwise. But yeah, afterwards, I just watched it, and then after it ended, I decided to rewatch it again, only this time focusing on his body movement. And after that, I just decided, like, okay, let me watch it again, but this time actually paying attention to the lyrics, because that's important, right? Yeah, that's important. So afterwards, after watching that, I looked at my recommended, and of course, the next song to be recommended was the same song, only the director's cut version. So I figured, well, why not? Let me see the directed cut of Girls Goes Boys. And it pretty much started off the same, only this time they added in like a few different body movements. And then they added in two girls, where they ended up kissing and grinding up against the singer. And I thought, okay, that's not what I expected, but interesting choice. And then after that, I only saw it once, and then after that, there was of course I looked through the comments, and then they were talking about his name, which is where I figured, okay, his name is Brendan, and apparently he has a girlfriend named Sarah, okay. And then there was people talking about Ryan. I figured, okay, maybe that's a friend who they ship him with or something. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, that was all I got from there. There were a few mentions of Dallin, but not enough to really let me know who he was. It was just like, okay, there's this other person that they ship him with, I guess. Or maybe he had an actual relationship. I'm not sure. And then the next video I watched was this fan-made thing where it's like they showed... I need to really stop saying like a lot. I really need to stop saying that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, totally sorry. But anyway, yeah, so there was this video made by a fan. And this person basically made shot for shot, had two versions of the song like filmed together, the original version and the director's cut. And just 9 seconds in, I was able to tell which one was the original and which one was the director's cut. I believe the original was on top, the director's on the bottom, or the opposite or something. I'm pretty sure. I watched it once, and I could tell just 9 seconds in which one was the original and which one was the not. Which one was the director's cut without even looking at the comments. Because the lighting was different, the hairstyle... Well, the hairstyle wasn't different, but like... Oh god, not that again, not like... But yeah, you could tell. You could kind of tell. Even just watching it once, I could kind of tell. And then looking through the comments, there were also people that were making jokes about it. I'm trash, I'm gonna cry in a corner, things like that. I thought it was kind of funny. So in that moment, I knew that they got me, and I was like, damn it, fine, you got me, show me what you got, Panic at the Disco, with a weird exclamation point in the panic part. Show me what you got, like Rick and Morty, show me what you got. And so, I decided to go on my YouTube search bar, typed in Panic at the Disco, and then the first few songs popped up, and then of course I Write Sins and Not Tragedies popped up, and that's when I knew, alright, I was right, these are the same guys. Alright, let me listen to it. And so I listened to it, and it was kind of different from what I expected. I didn't think it was going to be at a wedding, and it was just such a stark difference from what I just saw, because I didn't know at the time, but the Girls Goes Boys is from their 4th album, while I Write Sins Not Tragedies from their 1st. And you could tell the difference, not even just in the music video, but in the voices. Like, it was just a huge difference. And not only that, he just looked so... I had a hard time believing that was the same guy I saw in the almost naked Girls Goes Boys video, because he looked so different. But it had to be the same guy, because he kind of sounded the same, just different and younger. And I could tell that was probably their oldest songs, because it had a lot more views than all their others, and it looked old. But I didn't think it was going to be that old. I didn't think it was that far apart, so it's just like, it threw me off a bit. It was just like, whoa, what? It's like, okay. I was not expecting him to look like that or to sound like that. And yeah, the song came in with a punch. I was not expecting it to say whore and then censor goddamn, but I guess that was part of the charm since they were in a church. It was kind of funny. And yeah, that chorus was just catchy as hell. I can get why it might be annoying to some people, but for me, just listening to it, I thought it was very fun. And yeah.
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door, no?
I mean, what else can you say about it? I mean, it is what it is. It's a classic. It really is a classic. I look at the comments, and of course, they're funny as well. And then, through the comments, I eventually decided to listen to one of their other songs. And then one of their other songs that I listened to, I believe, was This Is Gospel. I believe that was the third song I listened to. And yeah, the music video was just all over the place for me, honestly. So that was definitely quite an experience, seeing him. I guess that was, again, from the same album as the first one, but I didn't know. I didn't know the timeline, but I definitely knew it was probably somewhat recent. And yeah, it was a cool music video. And then through the comments, I was able to determine the next song that came afterwards, which was lucky for me because I wasn't going in like the wrong order, sort of say, in terms of music videos. So logically, I went for Emperor's New Clothes, which was supposed to be the sequel to not Girls, but This Is Gospel. So yeah, that was fun also. And just, the music video is amazing, guys. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. It's just fun. Most people, for some reason, thought it was scary. Well, not most, but some people thought it was scary. Me, I laughed my shit when I saw it. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever saw. And then after Emperor's New Clothes, I ended up seeing Miss Jackson. And yeah, just, I don't know, for some reason, I had this idea like, okay, this is probably going to be about a cheating girlfriend, or maybe she's like a psycho killer and things like that. And I was kind of right, but I didn't think he would decapitate her in the music video. Sorry, spoilers, but I didn't think that for some reason. It was just, what?
Climbing out the back door, didn't leave.
And yeah, it's basically a Janet Jackson reference from her Nasty song from, I don't even know if it was the 80s or 90s, but yeah, it's a catchy song. I liked it a lot. And then afterwards, I believe I saw, was it I believe I saw Victorious afterwards, which, I mean, that song's also pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, what else can you do about it? It's a fun song as well. Probably one of the silliest ones I saw. Cause, yeah, by that point I understood the humor of the fan base, so I could completely understand where that music video was coming from. Definitely for the fans. Well, Girls, Boys was also definitely for the fans, totally, but yeah, I could understand the humor aspect from there. And then there was Death of a Bachelor, which, yeah, that one was pretty good as well.
Do I look lonely? I served Death of a bachelor, letting the water fall.
But yeah, Death of a Bachelor, which is from the album Death of a Bachelor, funny enough, is also great as well. So I believe that was 7 songs I listened to. Girls, Boys, I Write Night Tragedy, This Is Gospel, Emperor's New Clothes, Miss Jackson, Victorious, and then Death of a Bachelor. So yeah, 7 songs I listened to. And then from there, I just became a fan automatically. Which was weird because usually for any other artist that I listen to, it takes me a long time to get accustomed to them. It takes me months to listen even to an album of theirs. But here, I listened to like a few sample songs and I don't want to say I fell in love because that's a corny way to say it, but yeah, it was just, I just got involved. I just felt touched somehow. I was impressed. I guess that's the word I need to say, impressed. Which is weird because I don't get impressed by music, but I was impressed. And I felt like I needed to have some sort of appreciation for music. It made me appreciate music more so now than I ever did in the past because I kind of had shit taste before. And some good songs here and there, but now I fully appreciate songwriting now. It's a tough job, man. It's very intriguing. But one more quick thing before I even go any deeper. Before I even listened to any of those other 6 songs, while I was just repeating Girls, Boys over and over, apparently my dad kind of had like a little hiccup while I was coming back to work. He ended up wrecking his car or something. He's totally fine. It's just his car wasn't. So it was like sort of a car accident. So yeah, that was kind of weird. It's like the day I listened to Panic was the day he lost his car, which I guess I felt, okay, it's probably only fitting, maybe him coming to a concert with me, just, as an apology. Maybe me listening to Panic may have disrupted the universe, and then he lost his car. But yeah, he ended up getting a new car, by the way. But yeah, after listening to Panic, I just decided I need to see these guys live. So the next day, I believe, because I listened to them over and over. It was 10, so it was already 1 in the morning. And I was still listening to, on repeat their other stuff that I just listened to. Like, the songs I just listened to. I rewatched it. I looked at the videos. I wanted to look up the lyrics for Girls, Girls, Boys, because there were some things I didn't understand. The whole background vocals, I was like, da-da-da-da-da, sounds like and I was like, what is that? And then I realized, oh, it's sophisticated, manipulated. Alright, I still don't know what it means, but okay, at least I know what it means now, what they're saying in the background. And I kind of did similar for the other stuff. I was curious, so I'm like, alright, let me look up the lyrics. Cool, let me look more at the comments. They're pretty entertaining, at least. And then the next day, I looked, I believe maybe they just posted this that same day or like a week or something. I don't know, maybe it was fated, but I believe I saw a video that showed like they were going on tour with Weezer and all the dates that they were going to be going, the venues they were playing. So I was curious, I watched it, and I said to myself, okay, if they're not coming to Atlanta, Georgia, then I'm just going to have to deal with that fact. I'm going to have to suck it up, acknowledge it, and just listening to their stuff over and over to compensate for it. But then last second, I saw Atlanta, GA, Lakewood, Amphitheater. And I lost my shit. I said, well, take my money. Take my money. You already have me. Take my money. I swear, I was already accepting my fate. Like, okay, they're not coming. They're not coming. They're not coming. Wait, did I say Atlanta? Hold on, let me go back. Holy crap, that said Atlanta! Wah! So I was just so excited. I wasn't really screaming in real life, but I was just holding on the inside, just this is amazing. I'm gonna see them live. Wait, no, I won't. I have to ask my parents. So it was still February that same week. I just listened to them I believe yesterday. So I believe it was the next day I saw that. So I was just like, there's a chance. But still, I wasn't entirely sure. I was like, okay, first let me do research on these guys. I went full on stalker mode, researched every single member of the band to make sure they weren't racist or they didn't do any crazy shit in the past. I wanted to make sure these guys were fucking clean. So I looked up the band, I looked up through all I could find. Wikipedia, interviews, all that. They seem clean. I even looked at Yahoo just to make sure, because obviously other people asked the same question as I did. Nobody said anything nah, they seem like they're pretty chill guys. So I just took it as it was, okay, they're chill guys. They seem chill. I really hope they're chill. And yeah, they seem kind of chill. So I ended up listening to their albums because it's on YouTube, so I figured, okay, let me listen to their first album. And let me listen to their newest album, Death of a Bachelor. So I listened to A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. The titles were just so long that I could not comprehend most of it. The songs were alright. I thought they were catchy. I didn't fully appreciate them at the time, but I thought they were fine. And then I listened to the newer album. Or did I listen to the fourth album and then after that the newer album? I might have listened to the fourth album and then the newer album. I might have. Because I definitely didn't listen to the second or third one. But I might have listened to the fourth album and then the newer album. Because by the time Hallelujah came on, I just was like, yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I was a huge fan by that point. By the time Hallelujah came on. Because after listening to all their other stuff leading up to Hallelujah, it just felt like, this is the moment. This is the moment. And then all the other stuff that came afterwards is like, okay, I've heard this before. It's still awesome now with context. So yeah. So after listening to the last album, after it ended with Impossible Year, I decided, okay, I'm gonna check my piggy bank. I'm gonna check my wallet and see how much money I had. I had a decent amount. I believe it was in I don't know, thousands or something. I have no idea. I don't even remember. But I did have enough to pay for it. I looked at the concert venues. I looked to make sure what type of seating I could get. I looked at the closest that they had. Not the pit area, but like behind the pit area. I checked it to see, okay, how much is it? Alright, it looks like it's roughly going to be like $400. That's not expensive, but it is kind of expensive. So let me like check in with my mom. And I was willing to pay it with my own money. I wasn't going to be like, Mom, I want to go to the concert. Can you pay for it? I wasn't going to be like that. I was going to actually pay for it myself. I just needed a chauffeur, or a driver, basically. I needed someone to drive me, and I was going to pay for both seatings. I was willing to do that, because that's how much I really wanted this. I really wanted to go see them live, and I was willing to pay money for it. It's not like I have like a job or anything where I could like work it back. Like, no, this is just money I saved up over the years. I'm still saving it up. I still have a decent amount left despite blowing it all last year. Well, not all, but like quite a chunk. Like 500 is quite a bit. I believe I spent it 500. Like I believe it was like 400, and then I added like interest on top of it just to like appease my mom. But yeah, it was like roughly in the 500s, like late 400s, early 500s. So it was like, okay. So I had to do a lot of soul searching for at least 10 minutes and think, is this really worth it? Am I really that big of a fan? Like, because this is going to be like 4 months from now, because I'm getting this in February. They're not coming to Atlanta until June 16. So that's 4 months from now. Is this worth it? Am I going to be that big of a fan by the time they get here? Or am I going to like sell the tickets like everyone else? Or am I even going to be a big fan of them a year from now? So I had to really soul search, because by that point, I only listened to a few of their songs. I haven't listened to all their discography. So again, it was just, am I really going to commit to this fandom? Because I'm all over the place when it comes to fandom. So am I really ready for this? So I did a lot of soul searching, and I don't know what came over me, but I just decided, yes, this is worth it. I'm going to spend money on this band, and I'm going to see Brandon Urie. I'm going to see Panic at the Disco live. Like, there's no going around it. I'm going to do that. Especially if they're coming within my territory. They're coming to Atlanta. If they were somewhere else in Georgia, then probably not. But they're coming to Atlanta. I have a huge percentage of seeing him. I need to do this. I need to take advantage. If they're in some other place in Savannah, then okay, fine. Sure, they're in Georgia, but I mean, I'm not gonna drive all the way to Savannah to see them. But they're in Atlanta, goddammit. I can waste a few monies on that. I have it. I can do this. So I asked my mom. Of course, she was a bit skeptical. She was a bit like, we'll talk about it. Let's just do more research and we'll see. So, I mean, she didn't say no, but she didn't really say yes either. She was just saying, I mean, do more research. Maybe we'll talk about it because that seems kind of expensive. And then I came back and told her about it. And I guess I didn't word it right the first time because she thought it was much more than it actually was. And when I told her the price was like maybe around $300, but like $500 and $400 with like other things involved, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I thought that was like for one person." And I'm like, "No, for two people, it was like around $300 or something, or $400." So she was like, "Okay, that makes more sense. I thought that was just for one person." I'm like, "Who is this, Michael Jackson?" And I'm like, "No, they're not. It's actually it's quite cheap actually, considering." So, yeah, so we decided to eventually pay for it. I bugged her endlessly for days and days and weeks, and eventually she was like, "Alright, fine, let's get it over with." So we paid it within that week, and yeah. And that was that. And also, she was curious to listen to them. The song that was on their site. We used Ticketmaster, by the way. So after Ticketmaster, we went to the real site. She saw, wow, they're going almost like every day, and I said, "Yeah, well, they have to pay the bills." And then she said, I'm curious, like, what's one of their songs? Let me listen to one of them. And then the first song that was on their page was obviously Victorious. That was the #1 single that they had. Well, yeah. So she clicked it, put on like full screen, high volume. I made sure my headphones were off. and we're out, so she listened to it, and then she says, "Is this the volume?" I said, "Yeah, that's as high as it can go, Mom." So she listened to it, and she just thought it was weird, and she basically made a comment like, "White people, huh?" Like, yeah. And for some reason, I felt a tiny bit embarrassed, a little bit. As the music video was starting, I was like, oh man, it had to be this one. I mean, at least it's not Girls Goes Boys, because I would have just died of embarrassment if it was Girls Goes Boys. But Victorious, I mean, that's a silly video, but a part of me was tiny bit embarrassed about it. Like, I don't know, is that a really good first impression for my mom? I mean, maybe maybe not Hallelujah. Maybe, I don't know, I mean, Death of Bachelor, I mean, that's probably their most normal video. I would have probably preferred her to see that. But no, it was Victorious instead, so it was just like, oh, well. So it was just for a little second I felt a little embarrassed, but then eventually, over time, I just kind of, I just kind of owned up to it. I was just like, yeah, I like these guys, so what? And then eventually she just kind of got into it. She was just like, okay, that's cute. Oh, the old lady, that's nice. Oh, look at her again, haha. So she was just like, weird. And then she asked me, are they Satanists? Because she saw like a thumbnail of Emperor's New Clothes coming up next, and I said, no, totally. No, not at all, Mom. So she was, okay then. Gave me the iPad, and then I went on with my day, so that went better than I expected for my mom. And then I basically said, yeah, Dad, I want you to take me to the concert and things like that. Because, I mean, this will be a chance of us to spend more time together, and also, between you and me, I think you'll be more chill about the performance than my mom. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be like a really shocking performance or anything, but I mean, I feel like you're kind of open to different types of songs than my mom, so he kind of agreed with that. I don't know, my mom has her own taste in music. My dad, he's kind of fluid. He can go both ways in terms of music. Like, he can listen to songs that are in language, or songs that are hip-hop, or rap, or like rock, alternative, so he kind of gets it. In fact, he told me he even listened to like a few alternative stuff like Coldplay, and asked me if they were like that, and I said, kinda, not quite. I mean, if I had to generalize them, I guess in a generic way, I'd say they're alternative rock, but it's kind of weird to put them in a box because they're all over the place, so I can't really say what genre they are, sorry, but I would have to say maybe alternative rock, maybe. What I really should have said was alternative punk, pop punk rock or something like that, because that makes more sense, or just pop punk rock. But I don't know, I couldn't think of it at the time. All I knew was alternative rock, so I just said, yeah, kinda Coldplay-ish. Not. But yeah, afterwards, let me think. Is that all? Yeah, pretty much. And of course, during that time, I eventually told my brothers about Panic at the Disco. I introduced them. The first thing, I believe the first song I played for them was Girls Goes Boys, but it was through like karaoke, and they didn't get it. So then I decided, you know what? I'm going to show them the drunk history of Fall Out Boy, because I knew they were going to like that. So I showed them the drunk history of Fall Out Boy, and then I showed them the Victorious live performance through The Ellen Show, which personally is still my favorite Victorious performance I've seen them in terms of television. Because he was just so full of energy and doing backflips and things like that. Like, it's just my favorite personally. So I showed him that, and then afterwards I told him, yeah, I got the tickets. I eventually got the tickets like a few weeks afterwards. And then I started playing the Ready to Go theme song. And again, by that point, I knew that they were the same people because I saw a Watch Mojo countdown where they were talking about the most popular, best Panic at the Disco songs. And I knew Essence was going to be first because that was typical. But yeah, a few others I kind of agree with or I didn't hear yet. And then they showed the songs that were in the honorable mentions. And from there, that's when I heard Ready to Go. And then I just was like astounded. I was, what? Those were the same guys? How did I not know this whole time? So that was fun. And yeah, I had 4 months to really get obsessed and really listen to them. I didn't get enough time to listen to Weezer for some reason, even though I had plenty of time. I kind of listened to them late, like last day late or like the same day. So I just kind of listened to like the more popular stuff just to get an idea. But Panic, I made sure I listened to all their songs. I made sure I memorized all their lyrics, all the titles of their name. I watched all the live performances I could find so I could understand when they were gonna initiate these songs. Like, oh, this is about a girl I used to sleep with, Miss Jackson. This is about love, Girls Goes Boys. Yeah, I write suicide tragedies. So I had to like become more accustomed to that. And then I had to get used to the fact that they were going to be doing cover songs like Bohemian Rhapsody. So I had to really freshen up on all that stuff. I had to watch all the old memes. I had to do my serious damn research on this band, damn it. I made sure I didn't get a chance to read every fan fiction, but I made sure I knew my shit. I made sure I knew all the shipping names. I watched all the fan stuff. I did everything I could, man. So the people that say like, oh, you became a fan last year, a fake fan. No, I'm not a fake fan. I did everything I could. I'm up to date with all their jokes, sweaty balls, memes. Just another Bebo T. I know all this stuff. Raiden, Milk, fake. I know this. I've forced myself through this, so I had plenty of time to catch up. 4 months. 4 months. I did it. And then I saw them live on June 16th. And it was just the most... First off, I was just scared. Because I didn't want that time of the month to happen while I was there. So I was just so stressed out about that. And on top of that, there was some sad political things going on that week. In terms of the world being shitty towards people in general. So that was sad. So this concert was just... First off, it became more than what I expected it to be. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was just about everything. Like, it was just about everything. I wanted something happy because politics was getting worse. Situations in America were getting worse. And I just felt sad. I wanted something to brighten me up. So I was really glad I had this concert around the specific time where things were just really hopeless for a little bit. It didn't get even more hopeless until around November, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, June it wasn't a happy month as I would expect it. I thought it'd be happier, but yeah, it was very somber. And Panic really brought back that energy I was looking forward to. They kind of gave me that punch I needed. And yeah, it was just... And the tour was just starting around June 10th, I believe. So it was like, yes, this is perfect. The tour is just starting. And then for the whole few days leading up to the day I was going to go on tour, I listened to all the 5 albums. So from June 10th all the way to June 15th, I listened to 5 albums. And then I did covers of them. I deleted the audio file because I was saying terribly. But yeah, I did all that. And yeah, when the day finally came... I believe my dad and I got dressed up around 5. Yeah, we got dressed up around 5 and then we left. I think we left to get something, like juice and things like that, and then we came back, and then I dressed up in my dress because my mom and I decided to order this dress online. I ordered 3 actually, and one I knew particularly. It was like a black dress, and it was something I really wanted to wear. So I wore that, and my dad was just wearing whatever, blue shirt, jeans and stuff, you know, whatever he was wearing typically. And then we decided to go, and he basically had this thing planned where we were going to eat at this restaurant. And this restaurant was a very, I believe a seafood place that my mom and him went before on a date, because they still date and things like that for their marriage sake. And yeah, we went there, and it was pretty good actually. The food was pretty decent. And then afterwards, we just kind of started talking about things, you know, daddy-daughter stuff about mental health and Tarantino's Pulp Fiction and things like that. I don't know where that conversation came from. But we just started talking about that, and then eventually around 6, because the show was going to start around 7. Around 7 was when the show was going to start. We were going to have an opening act for 30 minutes. And then around 8, or like 7:30 to 7:40 to 8, or 9 was Panic. Panic at the Disco was going to start in the middle, and then it was going to end off with Weezer. So I was really pumped because they sent me a notification on how the dates were going to be set up. And obviously I can bring my iPad, so I told my dad to bring his iPhone because I figure it's new. It's going to be better than my mom's because every time she recorded hers while we were in Disney, it would not record sometimes. So I figured, okay, logically I'm going to go with my dad's because it's newer. It should be better, right? Right? Yeah. Hold on to that piece of information. It's going to foreshadow back later as a bitch. But yeah. We decided, okay, we're done eating, he paid a check, we left, and we drove, and I basically set up the GPS, which was weird because I was really nervous about that because I didn't do it before, but I was, okay, let me set it up on your phone, and we drove all the way, and then there was this lady who's a guard or something, and she just directed us like, okay, go over here, go over here, go over here. So we followed her, we parked there, and it was way further than where we actually were supposed to be, so it was just, okay, well, we're stuck here now. And then we just decided to walk and follow some group of people. I just said, okay, let's just go over there. Eventually we'll find it, hopefully. So we just walked, and it was like very country. Surprisingly, I was not expecting it. So he just asked me like, Jojo, where are you taking me? And I said, well, that's Panic for you. They're very interesting. So we walked, and it was very weird pathing. The traffic was all over the place, so going there was kind of difficult. Not gonna lie, that was kind of a point away from them. Going there was quite interesting. It was not what I expected and kind of weird to go through, but eventually we went. There was a lot of people that were saying things like, oh, get your water here, because it was very hot. It was summertime. And then there was a few people that complimented my dad, said like, oh, is that your kid? Oh, you taking it to concert? Hey, great on you, man. So it's like, yeah, thanks, cool, yeah, we're going. And then he was like, yeah, you know, you gotta keep him happy. So we went in. Eventually we found the place and we went in, and there was like a lot of people. There was quite a bit of people than I expected, and they were already there. We definitely weren't the last people to be there, but yeah, we were quite in the back. And the doors haven't opened yet. They said that the doors were gonna open in like a few seconds, 60 seconds or something, or 30 seconds. So we just kind of stood there for a bit, and then eventually the gates opened, and then people started going through security. And while this was going through, I was just listening to people talking around me, and they were all talking, I believe they were talking about the Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time music video and things like that. And I saw people with Panic t-shirts, and I saw Panic at the Disco merchandise that was way over there. So I was just, I'm in my element. I'm with my people. Oh my god. Ooh-wee. And my dad was just staying there. Okay. Oh, Panic at Disco and Weezer. Interesting name. So yeah. And then I went first through the gate. They checked my bags, and they checked me. And then I went through. My dad took a minute because he has very heavy pockets, so they had to really inspect him. But eventually he went past too. And yeah, we just walked through, and there was quite a bit of beer around too. So it wasn't an age gated as far as I know. Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think it was age gated. But yeah, there was quite a bit of beer being served there. We ended up getting lemonade from this lemonade stand, and then we went to find our seats. And I was surprised to see that, oh, we're actually closer than I thought. Because we got covered seats, so we were fine from the sun. Like, we were going to be in the yard. We were going to be in the covered seat section, so we went in, we tried to find our seats. This lady directed us towards this other place, but we were kind of sitting at an angle, so I was kind of confused. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, go over there. So I thought, okay, this is kind of weird. I looked at my tickets, and you said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, it could be better, but it's not terrible, at least we're not in nosebleeds. And then this guy asked me, say, ma'am, you're sitting here? And I say, yeah. Actually, can you check our tickets? Because I want to make sure if we're really supposed to be here in this section. He said, oh, no, come follow me. And I said, you sure? Yeah, you're over here. So we sat over there, and we were so close. Like, I could not believe. Like, I don't know, my mom is the one that picked the seatings. Well, I paid the price. But for some reason in my mind, I had an idea that I was going to be way further back. I didn't think we were going to be this close. Like, sorry for saying like a lot, but seriously, we were so close. Aside from the pit area, I was so close to the stage. I was just one seat I was just one seat row away from the pit area. That's how close I was. I don't know how I can really describe it other besides visualizing it, but that was as close as I was, man. It was crazy. I was just that close. It was just, wow, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, we just sat there, and then as soon as we sat there was this white woman with just a hat, wearing casual stuff. She basically said, "Oh, can you watch my stuff? I'm gonna go over there and get some something like a drink or some ice cream thing." I think it was like a ice. Like, what do you call those? I used to have those a lot as a kid. Something from Rita's, water ice. Yeah, it was water ice. So she was gonna get water ice, and I just sat there, and then my dad kind of made this, weird joke, because like, oh, I hope there's not a bomber there, like a terrorist. Because again, within that week, it was just kind of the thing that happened, so I don't know, I just briefly went like, I mean, it feels very light. I think it's mostly paper, so yeah, I didn't actually like look into it or anything. I thought it was kind of weird that she left it with me. I guess she thought I had a kind soul, or maybe because I had enough money to get there, she didn't think I'd like maybe steal it or something. I don't know. It was weird. Eventually she came back. My dad asked her about the water ice. She said, "Yeah, it's right over there." He was like, "Oh, cool." And then we started talking like, yeah, I have a weak immune system. That's why we don't get a lot of water ice. This is me talking to my dad, by the way. So yeah, eventually the show started with Alex McCannon, I believe. McCannon? Don't quote me. It was Alex Into the Wilderness. That I know for sure. If you search for Alex Into the Wilderness, you'll probably find him. Alex MC Into the Wilderness or something. And yeah, I listened to some of his stuff too. The one I like is mostly, of course, the one where it's like, she's listening to heavens at night. And stuff like that, because I mean, I can obviously relate to that, having headphones. So yeah, it was definitely something that, I liked it much. My dad seemed to kind of get into it. And then, of course, he texted my mom that we got there. And then he ended up taking pictures as well, sending it to her. We didn't have any, like, connection, so we couldn't really send the pictures. But he was able to send the text and things like that. And then afterwards, the woman that was over there ended up leaving because it wasn't her seat. So we ended up having these other two women that sat around us. And eventually, Alex ended, and then Panic started a few minutes later. And man, as soon as the intro started, I was already getting pumped, which was interesting because we just talked about Pulp Fiction. So it was just, I wasn't quite expecting them to play Pulp Fiction, even though I saw live performances. I don't know, for some reason I didn't anticipate it, so it got me pumped. And I started losing it as soon as I saw Down. I was like super excited, even though it's Down. He's just a bassist, he's not even the main singer, but I was just excited just to see him. Like, holy crap, you exist! So then Brendan, I heard his voice, and I was just, oh god. And then as soon as he came out, I just, yes! I'm home free! So it was just an awesome concert experience. I have footage that you can see, guys. I'll probably show you right now, actually. Hold on a second.